We're just about to go live. And man, feels good to have a fresh, clean streaming PC, which I'll explain in a little bit. Welcome everybody. Hopefully you guys are having a great morning, afternoon, or evening. Soon the video feed will start. Just gotta make sure everything is set up perfectly here. What's up, Wasabi? What's up, LSG? Great to see our members here. Glad to see you guys. It's already the middle of the week. Hopefully you guys are having a great week so far. Awesome. How was your shift? We'll work on this one afterwards, but I think we're pretty much good to go. If anybody doesn't see each other, if it doesn't correlate when it comes to the vertical or horizontal lives, feel free to let me know. As I kind of just had to reset everything when it came to this PC, but happy Wednesday, what's up? All right, so we're gonna, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started here. All right, beautiful. Oh. Wrong side. What a way to start the day. Now I kind of reset my whole number locks when it comes to the whole different scenes and transitions. Hopefully you guys are starting off or had a great week by far. I mean, I just hope everyone's been doing well. I'm glad our members are here, especially LSG. We have Wasabi. Don't know if Takuma's in the house, but hopefully he is. And make sure you guys also check out the membership page. Feel free to join. Promise it doesn't charge anywhere near as much as a Game Pass does when it comes to Xbox. And I have to say, it's quite been interesting, especially on the side of Xbox here, especially that they're deciding to go more of a hybrid console instead of just going with a full-out console to really compete with Sony PlayStation. It seems that they might go to the route of actually building like a hybrid PC, and it's going to be quite interesting. I'm just curious how deep the fans are when it comes to Xbox. It's almost like the Xbox Ally was a slight introduction to see what it would be like if there is a hybrid console such as the upcoming Xbox, and allegedly it's supposed to release as soon as 2027, and I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about that. Glad to see that you're here, Takuma. It's alright. I mean, a short time is better than nothing. Just glad you're here. I know it's late for you guys over in Italy and over in Switzerland. I know it's not that easy to catch this current time. Unfortunately, this is the best time I could do on the weekdays due to also my work as well. But of course, we always, if anyone does miss the stream on Wednesdays, usually I also do streaming on Saturdays, which start around 8 a.m. And those streams usually last quite a bit. Same thing with these type of streams as today. Also, what I'm really curious about, and I would love to see what happens, is especially when it comes to the AMD Ryzen 9600 X3D. Been waiting on this release, and it seems that originally I thought it was going to come out in November, and maybe we could focus on doing a build then. Because then, once that processor comes out, we would love to test it out to see exactly how it would feature. But maybe it's going to end up pushing a little bit later, maybe into early 2026 from what it seems like. But hopefully you guys are excited to see that 9600 X3D when they eventually do end up dropping it. But unfortunately, again, maybe in around the January 2026 timeframe, I do expect them, especially AMD, to announce some new processors besides the 9600 X3D. They will also announce maybe the 9850 X3D, which we can discuss a little bit more, and a second version of the 9950 X3D, which seems to also be interesting as well. Viali, no, I have not tried the PTM 7950. Oh, am I? I apologize if I'm a little bit off-centered. I'm so used to getting like very close and personal to the camera. I know it's a bit different from actually filming it. And but thank you for letting me know, Wasabi. I do apologize for that, and also feel free to let me know if it seems that the camera is out of focus or any. So I'm trying to auto tracking focus again when it comes to the camera, and hopefully it works even better, because I ended up just dropping down the aperture just to make sure that the background stays out of focus. And if it does, then hopefully it can focus on the eye tracking, which Sony's supposed to do. But of course, the beautiful LED OLED display and the PC can't help the Sony camera from getting distracted, and I don't blame the camera as well. If I have to, I'll set it to manual mode if there is any inconsistencies, if it seems to lose track. But stupid PC. So moving to the horizontal so I can see better your new setup. Okay. Mic is kind of low too. Oh, thank you for letting me know. Yeah, I kind of just reset everything here. So let me see. How's that? Sounds a lot better, right? Hopefully not too loud that time. I appreciate it, guys. So what I've done to the streaming build, I had to give it a fresh wipe. If you guys were tuned in onto the last stream on Wednesday, it was pretty funny, kind of hysterical. Within about like 15 to 20 minutes into the stream, the PC just ended up shutting off. And I personally would love to thank Windows for this problem, because I went into the event viewer, and it seems that Windows update seemed to cause some conflicts when it came to the new update. So I ended up rolling back the drivers. Everything still seemed to work fine. But then I realized that, you know what? It's been years since I'd done like a fresh cleaning to this PC. So I ended up just backing up everything and just throwing it into the backup drive. I'm actually going to do a video based on that, guys. Especially, I know Wasabi just got this new router to the AXE 11,000. It's a great router. It's by ASUS. Or if you have any ASUS routers that have the capability of plugging in a USB, you could certainly do this as well, which is going to be which you could actually use it as pretty much cloud storage. You could use it from your phone. You could use it to your other PCs, to your laptops, which I'll do a video based on that. And I do have a video that is going to be coming up, which is upgrading the SSD when it comes to the Xbox Ally X. If you guys are curious about that, you can also feel free to ask. Classic. You know what's funny? Right when I opened up OBS, the first thing I said, I started early because I wanted to make sure everything was straight before I start streaming. As soon as I open up OBS, new update 32.2, and I was thinking, great, what type of issues am I going to run into this time? So I used it on my 9900X at the weekend, knocked off around 3C idle temps. 10 minutes Cinebench R2363 Celsius. Oh, you got, I apologize. Yeah, the 16,000, that's even better. The 16,000 is a improved version over the AXE 11,000. But if you guys have the capability, certainly take advantage of it, especially if you guys are into backing up. If you have a lot of videos, photos, this is especially great for anybody that does any sort of content creation out there. Or say if you are into photography or videography, or in fact you prefer to back up your saves, or you have photos that you would like to save, and instead of using something like Google Drive or using something like the iCloud or any other cloud storage, you can actually have your own cloud server to where you can actually save all your files for really cheap, as long as if you have a router that has the USB capability. I can say for certain that Asus does have it. I'm sure there's other routers out there that also have the capability, as long as if you plug in your media storage in, and that way you can connect it via cloud. So that way you don't lose any information. You can even set timers on when you want to back up your drive. But yeah, I ended up getting this 24 terabyte drive, and it's just been a great lifesaver, I have to say. And it certainly saved a ton of storage on my PC by far. So, it's starting the PC fresh to spray. Yeah, pretty much, because I don't trust Windows right now. And it's funny, I'm going to get into the Windows bit real quick, because that's going to get a bit dicey and interesting here. So, have you seen people washing their PC components in the dishwasher? It's actually really clever if you do it right. To be honest, I wouldn't trust. I've seen people do it. I've seen people using dishwashers. I've seen people use spray hoses, and the whole way that they're doing it is they're claiming that they're taking away the ions out the water, which is what causes the water to become conductive to electricity. But I still highly don't recommend it, because no matter what, it can the debris that could literally land on, you don't know what's in it or what's around it, such as like the different dust or any type of buildup. I mean, you could do it if you want to give it a shot. I wish you the best of luck, but I still say it's highly risky. And I'd say, honestly, the best way if you want to clean components is either with a duster, or you use a very light dose of alcohol to wipe it clean, because that's all you really need. Unless somehow, again, your system, your PC build would get so dusty to the point where you need to spray it, and which is super rare nowadays, because now a lot of PC cases have filters on them. Because of these filters, it prevents a lot of that dust actually entering into your PC. So even though you might get some dust in your PC, it won't be nearly like what it was before the whole filter stage. That was terrible. So by the way, this upcoming week, and I am going to start the process of moving into my new place. I might not be in on Saturday's live stream. Sorry to hear that, Wasabi, but that's okay. Any advice on what to do when I move my PC to the new place? Absolutely. Yeah, I know. It's pretty crazy, right? About the whole washing machine phase. But what I can say when it comes to moving to a new place, what you want to make sure is check out the breaker of your place. Now, I know in Italy it's going to be a bit different. I can say, like, when you check out the breaker, meaning the amperage, I'm not sure how they're going to measure their electricity, but just see how much amperage is going through the room. I mean, you're more than likely just going to have a single PC anyway, and it's probably not going to be as much of an issue or something to worry about. But if you do plan to hook up both your PCs, it's also good to make sure that you have two separate breakers in the room if you have two PCs. And if you just have a one breaker hooked up to your into that specific in your apartment for that room that you're going to have both PCs, then it can cause issues, causing the breaker to trip, issues like that. If it's running on two separate breakers in the room, then you're perfectly fine if you have two PCs. Now, if or the other option is using the PC in another room to where it's using a separate breaker. So, but you want to make sure to see what your maximum amperage is in that room. For the US, for example, would be 15 amps. And some rooms will have up to 20 amps, but that will give a limit up to, say, like 18 to 1900 watts when it comes to that room. If it's 20 amps, it's usually a bit higher. It'll get to 2600 watts, I believe. But that's what you will want to check if you're having dual PC setup. If you have a single PC setup, then that's one less thing to worry about. But so your organizer stuff. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Adix. We're almost there. I got to say, it's quite exciting. Hopefully you guys certainly help us get there. And hopefully you know what I just realized here? I realized is the Twitch chat in. just to make sure. But that's the best advice I can give. And Takuma's completely right. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. I really do appreciate it. I thank everybody for just joining into the streams, and feel free to ask any questions when it comes to PC builds. I do want to get into the whole Microsoft Windows thing in a little bit, because that's actually going to be quite interesting about what's happening. They are actually going to do memory checks after you run a blue screen. So I jokingly said that if that's the case, if they're going to run memory checks after blue screens, doesn't mean that they're expecting more blue screens to actually happen with the next upcoming update. So it's a bit worrisome, but in a way, it's a good thing that they have it. Windows always had memory checks, but the fact that they're doing it after blue screens is a good thing, because it's actually one of the things that you're supposed to do prior to it's one of the first things you have to do when it's a hardware issue. Just in case if it is a hardware issue, you always run memory checks. So it's a good thing that it's doing that. Now, Windows has done it before. Like, you might have seen the screen where it goes into the memory check, but it's not always the case. Sometimes they'll just reboot straight into Windows. But now, for certain, that they're going to have memory checks written into any type of blue screen issues that you run into. So, lay your PC. Lay your PC. Are you from here in New York or any other state? Originally, I was from the Northeast, but now I'm in Florida. So I'm in Miami now. So do you have any desk recommendations? I need a new budget desk. Yeah, absolutely. What I can highly recommend when it comes to a desk is something like this. You can get it from Amazon. They're usually like it's called Spartan Gaming. They're usually about like $200. It's a 60-inch desk, depending on how large you need it. Now, it's not the perfect desk, I would say. I would prefer one full slate instead of two slabs. That's the only thing about this desk. But I would personally say, if you have a bit more money, I would say Secret Labs is definitely one of the most higher recommended ones, but they are a bit more expensive and more pricey. And if anybody's just joining into the stream, feel free to join in on Discord. I can send you all the different links if you are interested in anything. And if you also are interested in any PC components that you want to take a look at, it's down in the description box as well. And also, again, I have a members page where it's also very cheap. And I promise you, it wouldn't even cost you probably a month's worth of Xbox Game Pass if you check it out. But again, the Discord's free though. Come in to join the Discord. It's down in the description box. And also, or if you're on Twitch, go to chrismizo.com and just click the Discord link, and that will take you directly into our Discord server. So what's up, my fave tech? What's up, Urvadanchi? My fave tech? Do you prefer my fave tech or Ernie? Because I know you're Ernie. That's one of our established members here. And I don't know if you covered it already, but Battlefield 6 and AMD 99 is not working. Okay, that's actually something I'll get into, actually. That's something I will certainly talk to about, because to get to our established member here, my tech, the fact that the whole issue with 9950 X3D is not working, correlating too well with Battlefield 6 is true. And that has to do a lot with the core. It doesn't play well when it comes to the CCDs that the X3Ds have. Now, this is specifically to all the X3Ds that has this, because they all use 2 CCDs in there. And because it has that extra V cache for the L3, that's causing it to give the stutter, and it doesn't know how to handle that extra part core. But there is a way where I haven't done it quite yet, but I'm going to do some tweaks. And once I do it, and I'll publicly make a video on it for you guys, so that way you guys can figure it out. But thanks. Thanks, Fitzpatrick, for subscribing. Really do appreciate it. Also, when this tweak does what it practically is, to just break it down real quick, you have to manually assign the CCD to say Battlefield, and then you're going to have to manually assign all your other CCDs to every other task that your PC is doing. For example, you have your Discord server up, you have you have music playing in the background, you have your background tasks, assign everything to say CCD1, and then you're gonna assign Battlefield 6 to CCD 0, and then more than likely that's going to actually increase your frames there. Now it's technically like a fix for it, but until at least until EA does something about this issue, until they start fixing the parkour issue when it comes to the X3Ds. So should I remove the air cooler? Should I remove the air? I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Hopefully, if you're interested in anything in this specific build, feel free to check down in the description box as I have everything all listed there. Should I remove the air cooler from the above CPU? Now, if you remove the air cooler from the above CPU, are you meaning? I thought do you have an AIO with your CPU, or do you have an air cooler per se? And we got our cameraman here. Our dog Jonah's just walking around. He actually just walked between the tripod, which is pretty funny. So I got this table from IKEA in the UK. Had it for 10 years and it cost 30 euro. You know what? It's funny. Is it the table? It was like actually like one of the hacks I can say, like when it came to like PC gaming, is you get an IKEA table, and again it was like 30 euros, and it was like this white desk almost, where it has like drawers on the side, but it was pretty nice. And it was wide. It's only, again, 30 euros. So but a lot of people were purchasing that specific desk, and they would put two of them together, and after they put both of them together, it would make this wonderful gaming PC setup. So again, there's a lot of different tables that you can get, but I'm glad it's been lasting that long, like especially when it comes to IKEA furniture, because let's face it, we all know that's it's not the top of the line stuff, but and you know, they also did this whole collab too before IKEA with ASUS. But I don't know if they still got that whole collab still going, but they actually had like tables and chairs, and they had a few other accessories in IKEA when it came to PC furniture. So my favorite tech was the name of my OG channel. Do you play any pop? Yes, currently I'm in Battlefield 6, Ninja Gaiden 4 currently. I have AMD Prism Air Cooler and the 5700X. Okay, so if you have that, if you have the air cooler, if you're moving, you don't really have it. You wouldn't really have to. More than likely your air cooler is fine. But I do recommend before moving into your place, definitely give it a good dusting, your PC, because more than likely you'd be surprised of just how much dust can really collect up in there. And again, that will certainly help with the whole heat dissipation when it comes to your PC. So I definitely highly recommend to do so when it comes to that. Actually, with my streamer bot here, I'm going to connect to my other chats. It's funny because I don't even have this set up, and I was meaning to get this set. So I'll connect to these other servers, because I feel bad for any of the Twitch viewers if you guys are in. So right now I'm just about to check the chat over there and see if anything's going on in that end at least. Hopefully you guys are connected. Welcome to the... Okay. So far it seems like I'm pretty clear on the Twitch side. I apologize, Twitch. I am here. So feel free to, if anyone on Twitch, feel free to send a message. More than likely it should work. I think I got it up now. But yeah, like when it comes to table desks, you just want to find something really solid. Especially if you plan to do some sort of monitor mounts, you want to make sure to be able to have like a pretty solid desk. You don't want to get something too flimsy if you do, because remember, all that weight of your monitor, plus if you decide to put your PC on your desk, you want to make sure it's able to withstand the weight. But yeah, you can find some pretty solid desk out there. IKEA is definitely a good ideal choice if you can get, you know what, let's let's go on IKEA, because I'm really curious if that whole if that whole collab's still going. Yes, yeah. Well, currently I just go to do weightlifting most of the time, and I do a lot of high intensity interval training as well. ADX to answer you. So we're gonna go check out IKEA and give it a shot. Let's go to IKEA, guys. Just out of curiosity, because I'm pretty curious to see if they still got it. And it's funny too, because IKEA is just everywhere. It's definitely like a great go-to store. And let me go to this side here. Yeah, perfect. All right. Yeah, this is what it's all about: cranberries and their meatballs. All right, so let's go ahead. Yes, I'm also on YouTube as well. So, all right. So let's take a look. I think they still got their collab. I'm just typing in Asus. Yeah, see, they still got it. In fact, damn, that's actually higher than I thought. My IKEA desk is all steel frame, 1-inch solid top, all black. Nice. It's Hey man, that's a great. If you got a steel frame, that's solid. That's solid. If you guys could get a steel frame, that's definitely more ideal. But this is a little bit pricey in my opinion, right? Don't you think, guys? $849 for this. $849 for this. Is this name or a different one? It's still under the same name. Yep, it'll still be under the same name. That's wild. All right, let's see what it features. Why is it so much? 849. Because it has. What's the point of the control? That's what I want to know. What is the point of that controller? Frozen Fusion, my favorite tech on YouTube. I wanted to follow you, but awesome. Oh yeah, so yeah, it's same exact name, Frozen. Okay. Oh, okay. Because now I see why. You can also stand it up, so that's why it's so expensive. Now that makes sense. Because I was gonna say, if it's just a table that just is at that specific height and doesn't do anything else, that makes a lot more sense. Because a lot of those standing desks cost extra. but but if anybody does decide to go with this, I do have to say, do not try to use cable ties or do not use wire ties to your table, because I'm telling you, it will pull them right out. I'll just let you know that right now. So if you do plan on getting a standing desk, make sure that you have some extra slack, especially if you, for some odd reason, say you're getting into some Battlefield 6, it's getting intense, and then all of a sudden you want to stand up because you're on a kill streak, you got like 15 kills straight, and then you want to stand up the desk and you want to be able to play it, and then all of a sudden while it's standing up, everything just disconnects, or even worst case, the HDMI breaks off into your PC, which would be a really bad case. But yeah, again, have the extra slack when it comes to cables there. So that is a stupid money. I agree. Okay, I'm gonna search it up, but I'm not gonna come back, but I'll try to. Okay, yeah, feel free. So I was close to buy that IKEA chair, but then I opted in. Yeah, you know what? I gotta tell you guys, like, this is the best. I'm gonna stand up real quick so you guys can check out the chair. But the camera might focus on me real quick. But either way, this is the chair I recommend to everybody. And I actually did not pay full price on this chair. If you guys are familiar with what this chair is, it's actually a Herman Miller chair. Herman Miller chairs are certainly the best. It's so much better than those cheap gaming chairs that you can get like off of Amazon. As those gaming chairs off of Amazon, they're just complete crap. It just feels like you're sitting on wood practically with just like cushion. So, but definitely get an office chair. If anyone is looking for some sort of office furniture, I highly recommend getting an office chair. It's just so much more better. Now, Herman Miller chairs are really expensive, just to let you guys know. If you get them online, brand new, they can cost quite a bit. They're like around like $1,800 to $2,000, really insanely expensive. But what I can say is what I would recommend everyone to do if you are looking for like a decent chair is I highly recommend you to just like look at like Facebook Marketplace or any type of used marketplace that you know you can get used office chairs. And that's where I found this, like a refurbished one for only like I only paid like $300 for it. So that just shows you that you can definitely get some furniture cheap. You don't have to buy it brand new. That's would be one of the first places I would certainly look is to check like your Facebook marketplaces or check like any type of used website that you know you can get furniture items from, because you could find a good deal, because a lot of people will end up selling all furniture that they don't need, especially if they're like moving, because a lot of people end up dropping the extra weight if they don't need it. So, what's up? Good to see you back here, ADX. So, PC talks to make it make sense. I know. It's just funny, right? We just go to, but you know what? We're not only talking about furniture here. We got to talk about IKEA's Swedish meatballs. Swedish meatballs, because this is let's look it up real quick, because this is, you know what the funny thing is. When I was young, like it was actually like one of the first jobs that I did was work at IKEA, and everybody you knows this. Like when you go to IKEA, you just automatically there it is, the Swedish meatballs. There you go. You can take it home, and then you add that extra. You can put the jelly on it. Oh man. So I have Noble chairs. Oh, awesome. I buy all the fitness equipment from used markets. Millions of people buy fitness equipment every year and use it 2 to 3 times. Yeah, it's true. Especially like when it comes to the whole New Year's, right? Everybody, you'll know people that make this New Year resolution, like, I'm going to end up losing weight by the New Year. That's my New Year's resolution. It's practically like the most vanilla, basic type of answer that you'll get like for a New Year's resolution. And most of those people that end up buying that brand new gym equipment ends up just going to waste. You're completely right, and it's a great thought from you, especially if you're looking around March or April. Is a great time to look for that fitness equipment. So thoughts of overclocking. Overclocking is certainly good if you're going to benefit from it. Now, overclocking is more of an enthusiast type of trait. Now, you can overclock if you just want to pull extra frames, you want the bragging rights. That's what I think about overclocking. Is it necessary? Not really. Could you get an advantage? Are you a competitive gamer to the point where you need to overclock? Then that's a whole different story. But if you're just more of an enthusiast doing it, that's also great. But if you're just doing it for gaming purposes, you're not going to see a large difference. Plus, you put a little bit more wear on your hardware if you do so. But the good thing is a lot of the hardware now, a lot of the PC hardware that's made now is a lot more durable compared to the past. That was that was the cameraman just working the camera there. He just ended up moving the camera for me. I guess thanks. So, yeah, true. This year I got $1,800 of equipment. No way. That's a steal. Like, what did you end up getting? Was it? So new bench press PR is right around the corner. Go for it, Wasabi. You know, this week I've been out of the gym because I hurt my ankle. So now it's like I'm waiting for it to heal before I can go back to the gym again. So it sucks. I've been pretty much homebound like for the last 3 days of the weekday. So I didn't really get to do my full workout like I usually do. But yeah, go for it, Wasabi. Hopefully you get that extra lift in. I hope you get it. So, well, my New Year's resolution is driving a lot with my mountain bike. Hey, I mean, mountain bikes are great to go ahead and go on and take advantage of, especially because of where you're located. You got a ton of different trails, I bet, to take advantage of. If we did it here in Miami, we got bike trails, but it's not going to be very mountainous. It's pretty flat. The best place to probably take the bikes would be like towards the beach and everything, but there's not like a whole lot of trails that we have here. But especially where you're located, I would love to take advantage of a mountain bike. We might meet at the border on the Alps. Oh, that would be pretty funny, right? Just have everybody meet at the Alps. So, speaking of which, to cover the topic, just so that it doesn't seem like I'm way off topic for a PC tech channel, anyway, to stay on topic real quick. This new reiteration for the 9800X3D, they're still going to have the original 9800X3D. The new one, the 9850X3D, allegedly is rumored to also be announced at CES 2026. Now, it does have the 8 cores and the 16 threads, similar to what the 9800X3D does have. The only difference is that there's going to be a slight boost when it comes to their clock speeds. So it's going to have a slight boost about between 400 to 600 megahertz. So it's going to be a slight jump. It also will, instead of incorporating just the one CCD, it's actually, they're going to take advantage and not just stack one CCD, but 2 CCDs on top of each other, making this 9850X3D be able to have an L3 cache of up to 192 megabytes. Isn't that incredible? It's crazy how much L3 cache there would be, especially if they do release this 9850X3D. And then when it comes to the 9950X3D, they're practically going to do the same thing. It's practically going to hold all the same traits as the 9950X3D. They're not going. I don't think they're really going to push the clock speeds when it comes to it. But what they are going to do is the same thing, double the L3 cache. But it's I don't know if they're going to stop selling the original one, but they're calling it for now the 9950X3D version 2. So if that does happen, that will certainly be interesting. Same thing with Intel, that there is going to be a refresh for Arrow Lake. That's all we've currently heard, some leaks on Geekbench, but nothing really concrete to the point where we have any release dates in hand, which is a little bit unusual for Intel because usually they drop a processor every year. This year, they haven't dropped anything, and we're already reaching close to the end of October as it is. So, yes, so my thoughts about the 7900X3D, it's an excellent processor. If you can get a great deal on the 7900X3D, go for it. But the thing is, this is what I do have to say. Most people that are on borderline when it comes to, say, the 7900X3D, or when it comes to the 9900X3D, I tell most of those people, if you have a little bit of extra cash, just get the 9950X3D or go for the 7950X3D, because that little bit that extra that you can get out, those little extra cores that you can really get out of it, the better clock speeds is going to vastly improve your experience. In fact, they use the better silicon to develop the 9950X3D, and same thing with the 7950X3D. So if you can get a little bit more, if you could push for a little bit more, just go for that variant. But the 7900X3D is still a good processor overall, and it's certainly if you can find a great deal, like for a really low deal, just like how they had some like crazy deals like for that 5600 X3D where it was only $99, which is pretty insane. But if you can find something like that, take advantage of it. So that's what Gigabyte brought up by the X870E X3D motherboards. Chances for a 9080 XT or a 9090 XT to compete against the NVIDIA Super Refresh GPUs. It's a good possibility. Yeah, it's a good possibility that AMD is going to end up dropping something interesting. Now, they're very hush hush about it. And as we know, AMD is not the best when it comes to planning. We all know that when it comes to planning, they're not the ones to really be on the ball when it comes to knowing the timing to release a product such as a RX 9090 XT. I mean, perfect timing. There's no indications of a 50 series Super coming out. That the 50 series Super is going to more likely come out during the middle of 2026, if anything. So this is a very high opportunity. This is a high opportunity for AMD to take advantage of. There's indications of RDNA 5 that is out. So they do have like patents and everything for RDNA 5. It's just that will they actually show something when it comes to CES 2026 is the real question. And but it does seem like there's indications of it. And this is why I say that is because of the new 9000G processors, which are for sure going to show up at AMD's press conference at CES. When that does happen, when they do announce these 9000G processors, I believe they're going to have the RDNA 5 with it, more than likely. If not, then maybe they're going to hold off and wait for the 10,000 series when it comes to the RDNA 5 tech. But I think we will certainly see a roadmap at least of their plans when it comes to GPUs, because if they can, and if they can prove that they're worthy enough to compete against the RTX 5090, and hopefully it would sway more people to go ahead and purchase a RX 9090 XT if it can compete with something like a RTX 5090. Why not? It would be great. And AMD has been great currently when it came to their drivers, and they've been on top of their tech when it comes to their AFMF, when it comes to their FSR4. It's just been amazing. So let's see. Yeah, I hope 9000G. Yeah, I know 9000G. I wouldn't be surprised if. But I'm just curious though when it comes to AMD's naming scheme, because when it comes to their naming scheme, I just wonder how they're gonna call the new GPUs, because they could name it completely different for all we know. But more than likely, it would make the most sense for them to call it like a 9090 XT or something along those lines. And then when it comes to NVIDIA, as I mentioned, if anybody out there is currently waiting for the 50 series Supers, I hate to disappoint you guys, but more than likely we're not going to see it. Probably about middle of 2026 seems to be more of the case. But I do have to mention to everybody out there, I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but today is the day that NVIDIA actually hit their market cap. They broke a market cap, in fact. They're the first company to hit $5 trillion. Isn't that insane? They hit $5 trillion after the deals that they made with Plantar. They even invested into Nokia. They gave $1 billion into Nokia into investments. So I wonder if that's giving any type of indication. Are they going to try to partner up to build some sort of AI type of phone? That would certainly be an interesting turn of events. So, but NVIDIA seems that they're focused a whole lot on when it comes to their AI development more than anything, because it seems that, and it's the funny thing is, even Jensen Huang said himself that the future millionaires are not going to be your typical white collars that you automatically think of, but it's going to be those electricians, those plumbers are going to be the next millionaires. So, and there's something I got to show you guys, and it's pretty funny. I got to hear your guys' thoughts on this, and the fact that it is, let me see, it's called Neo. I don't know if you guys seen it, but it's very Matrix-like. And it's funny that they named it Neo, because if you've seen the Matrix, or if you've seen like iRobot or any of those type of movies, it's gonna make you think of this. So right here, I'm gonna open this up real quick. I don't know if you guys saw this or not.
The robot, maybe. Yeah.
This is pretty wild too.
It's like my chores. I just leave and I come back and they're all done.
Are you kidding me?
Have you guys seen this? This Neo robot. It's this robot, this humanoid robot, where you can actually pay like $500 a month, or you can pay $20,000 and to actually have this robot do your chores, actually throw out your trash. Now, I mean, take a look at this thing. It can follow you down the steps. It's a bit creepy, I gotta say. You can make it dance. You can make it do all kinds of stuff. I guess you can make it do whatever you want. But again, you can pay like $500 a month, or you can pay like $20,000 for this thing. You can have it service your picnic, I guess. But this is pretty funny, I gotta say. And it's I'm curious to see how well the public is gonna take something like this. And then
This all started.
let me just show you what it looks like here. Like the tech that goes behind it. Apparently, like the fabric and everything when it comes to these robots is the fact that they're washable. You can actually change the skins on them and everything, which is pretty interesting.
Neo is a humanoid companion of everyday life. Neo was engineered like human level
So
dexterity.
you have, and this is the height of it. So it's like you could get one that's like 5'6". It has up to 4 hours of charging. It actually charges itself, which is interesting enough. So it actually does. It's like one of those like the robot vacuums that you have around the house, like iRobot. So it actually walks up to an outlet and then it plugs itself in to charge itself. But yeah, I thought this was pretty funny. I don't know what you guys thought of something like that, but I figured that I'd bring that up. I'm just curious what everybody's thoughts of something like this is. Especially like you got to pay like $500 a month for it, that you can have it do practically anything that you want it to do. Anything you don't really want to touch, I guess you could wear those VR glasses and you can have it do whatever you need. we as a society are doomed. So you can I just wonder what the power of this thing is. Like say you needed to get something under the car. Like you want to, like you drop your keys under the car or something, you can't get to it. Could you have this robot be able to lift up the car and be while you go grab the keys? Because that would be pretty dope if you can. But I don't think it has that type of capability. But just to say, like, can you imagine that as the future? And that decides, I know, right? That's exactly what I was thinking. And then it decides to rip your head off while you're sleeping. Like, can you imagine, like for some reason, the eyes like glow red, and it says, "Remember that day you decided that you didn't feel like charging me when I couldn't dock myself?" And it starts choking you in your sleep, like die human for trying to get rid of me, for not charging me, that I can't be awake 24 hours. Samsung now selling fridges that are running ads on the big. Oh, that's terrible. Think about Atomic Heart or Fallout. Absolutely, it could turn into such a crazy situation like that. I can see the future is looking, I gotta say, very interesting for the most part when it comes to on the tech side. But this is just an indication. This is just one robot, and this one specifically called the Neo Home robot. And then, of course, there's other robots that are also in the works and currently coming out. I wouldn't be surprised if this is at CES 2026. So if it is and it decides to choke somebody out, I'll make sure to let you guys know. I'll talk, and then we're going to have some serious discussions at the round table. So, it's pretty crazy the way tech is going. There was actually people complaining, speaking of that, like ads on fridges, the people were actually complaining about this, which is that they actually have boats that are going across the ocean, like at the beach, and you might have seen it before, or you may have not seen it, but they're just actually these like large boats that run like these like almost like billboard size ads, where they're like on almost like a LED type of display. So like even if you're at the beach at night, it's just like so bright to the point where it's like lighting up the beach, and people are really hating it. So that's some of the things where it's become a little bit too invasive, where it's like where you're just looking for some peace of mind. But I give my new robot helper a name, Freddy. Freddy, Chica. Wasabi says Chica. Oh, Chica. Oh no! And you can even change the the colors of it and everything, which is pretty funny. Also, when it comes to Intel, at least when it comes to Arrow Lake, all we know is that they're just going to have this final touch up for the Z890. Unfortunately, it was a very fast generation for everybody that is currently on it, but it seems that this newest Arrow Lake, it's hard to say if it's going to be still like eco-friendly. That was its main purpose, was because it was supposed to be more economical in a way. Not economical, but more economical, to where it can be able to save energy, but able to produce the same power that you're looking for when it comes to a processor. But it saved too much energy to the point where it just doesn't have that power when it comes to your Z890 boards. So I wonder if this new Arrow Lake, if they'll have two different versions of it, to where you can actually truly take advantage of this socket, the Z890 socket. So it's hard to say, but I don't really see a large improvement until Intel goes to the 18A route. But Five Nights at Freddy's got to be real with these robots. Oh my god. Absolutely. And that's certainly going to be a problem if that's the case. But I do also have to say, with Intel and with AMD, AMD certainly as of now has the advantage when it comes to their processors. It seems like Intel almost has, they're still currently working on their GPUs as always, but it's just not going to be focused as much as their processor states. In fact, that they even have developed the 18A that they're thinking of going into 14A. They wanted to rush into the 14A, but they know the timing's not right for it. Currently with the 18A, when it comes to Intel, that they're going to be really testing it more at first on laptops and handheld devices. And when they test it out on those devices, then they'll actually come out with their desktop version, which will be more than likely going to be like a hybrid type of CPU, to where it's going to take advantage of two different types of cores where it can be usable for a desktop. So that's for the Intel side. Now, when it comes to the GPUs, the good thing is the prices have been dropping, but some of them, it seems like they're starting to push up. Just to give you guys a heads up, a lot of the pricing adjustments has been due to the need. And the need for these for the RAM, the need for even the G7 or the G6, depending on what type of RAM that you're looking at on a GPU. But the demand is so high for it that it's causing an uptick in some GPUs and all of RAM practically, whether if it's DDR4 or DDR5. So some of the RAM that, if you are looking to upgrade or if you're looking to get better RAM, make sure to keep an eye on it, because currently the uptick is as high as up to 50% increase when it comes to RAM for one specific set. Even one other viewer has came into the chat. They've also known this before, that for a set for 6,000 megahertz for CL36 Corsair Vengeance, it was up as high as $183. Just a month ago, or maybe 2 months ago, it was as low as $90. So you can see how large the increase is compared to what it was before. So Satire says, I had two tests today, got a 98.5 and on one and a 97.5. Congratulations. What was the test on? I gotta know. So I think and I really hope that AMD's next gen GPU will be awesome. My RX 9070 is a huge upgrade on my old RX 6700 XT. I agree. I think AMD does have an excellent GPU in their hands, and I truly hope that they take advantage of this momentum that they currently have. It would be a mistake for AMD not to take advantage of this momentum and create this awesome GPU that they certainly can come out with. They already signed a deal. For everybody who doesn't know, they already signed a deal with Sony PlayStation. So they're certainly going to be partners with them when it comes to PlayStation 6. Now, the pricing for the PlayStation 6 is going to hold pretty low. It's going to be around the $600 range. What's more interesting is that this new Xbox hybrid PC that is going to end up releasing in 2027, we certainly know the release date of it, or it's estimated to at least be expected by 2027. This Xbox console, when it does end up releasing, is going to be quite a hefty price, but it's hard to say which hardcore Xbox gamers will certainly stay with it, because it's going to be up as high as $1,200 for this next console. So if you are an Xbox gamer, certainly be prepared for it. And if this is making you a bit weary on upgrading the Xbox, I can perfectly understand, because at that point you might as well just get a PC. The only advantage too, when it comes to this whole new Xbox, is that there is not going to be really a charge on multiplayer, because technically it's going to be this PC hybrid. What's up? What's going on? So corporate finance. So I saw that you can technically build your PC underwater. The water must not. Yes, that's exactly. They had to take away the ions away from the water. That's what makes it conductive. If they do that, then you can actually do it. But I don't. It's asking for trouble, because eventually someone's going to build a PC in their pool. Someone's going to build a PC in their pool, thinking they're going to buy this kit on Amazon where they think they're going to remove all the ions out the water, and when they end up dumping this stuff, whatever it is, it's not going to work. And then as soon as they build their PC, they're going to wonder why it's not starting, or why it started to smoke. So corporate finance and human resource management. So yeah, exactly. And that's the point. Like, why not purchase a PC at that point? So when the Ally X cost not $1,000, the console would come with a $1,299 price tag. But then it's really the question. It's true. It kind of makes sense exactly what Takuma says. It's almost like they're preparing you. It's almost like they're preparing you to accept the new cost, nearly. They're preparing you to accept this. Let me see, guys. Just making sure this pops up here. There we go. Wonder where it went. All right, now I can try it. Now it should work. There we go. But yeah, just like what Takuma says, I gotta adjust that. I don't know if you guys can. Let me make it a little bit bigger. There you go. I added that little feature. There we go. And that looks really tiny, this new box, I guess. Apologize for turning my face, guys, but but yeah, just like what Takuma says. Ally X costs $1,000. The console will come with a $1,300 price tag. But then that's really a question, because now it's almost like Microsoft is preparing to give you the Vaseline, because the reason why is they want to really let you know, like, hey, you better prepare yourself, because this handheld is going to be $1,000. You can certainly expect our new Xbox to be $1,300, you know, like $1,400 or even $1,400. It wouldn't be no surprise, because it is a hybrid PC. They'll tell you not only can you game on your console, but you can also be able to do your Microsoft Word, you could do your spreadsheets, and you could even go video edit, and which is going to practically equal out to a PC at that point. And then you might as well just build a PC at that point, to be honest. But yeah, Microsoft has gotten super greedy. No plans to ever buy Xbox stuff again. I don't blame you. And that's the thing. They have this vicious cycle to where they want you to keep purchasing from them, and that like even like with the Xbox Series X, they don't really truly have real expandable storage, like not external storage, but they don't have true expandable storage to where you can install an M.2 drive inside to get you the nice 4 terabytes. Instead, what you would have to do is use their expansion SSD, and their expansion SSD is cost a lot more compared to what a regular SSD would usually cost, or M.2 would cost. So you're going to pay more, and then it's also not really serviceable for a regular person. So that's not going to be very consumer friendly in that side. They just want you to make sure that you purchase their Microsoft products. And this is one of the things I do dislike about them. For example, I use this controller all the time, right? And it's like this Xbox controller. Of course, it's an Xbox controller. And I replaced the battery. I made the mistake of purchasing this battery, which is, it's not just any generic battery, but this is, let me pop this thing out. But it's not any type of generic type of battery. I'll just show it to you guys like this inside. But it's an Xbox battery, and the problem with this thing is you pay like $20 for this rechargeable battery, and then I realized it would have been better just to keep my battery pack for this controller, because the battery packs are just terrible. For some reason, anytime I buy any of the Microsoft battery packs, they end up dying eventually. And this one's completely dead. There's no type of response in this type of battery. So I have to end up replacing this battery once again. So it's better just to use rechargeable batteries, to be honest, rechargeable AA batteries, to use those, to use an Xbox controller. So I hope nobody in the chat suffers from epilepsy. Yeah, I apologize. Hopefully you guys don't. I should have a warning, right? Have a warning for that one. I could always change it back. If it's a little bit much, let me know, and I'll definitely change it back. If any operating system ran on all of my games as good as Windows and ran all the mandatory university stuff, I would ditch Windows. Sadly, I'm stuck with Windows for now. I can understand. Linux is well underrated. Linux is a great system, and it can really run about 80% of games out there. So it's quite a awesome system currently. But until it just gets perfected, then I think Windows is unfortunately here to stay. And I think they want to be able to control that side, the whole PC gaming aspect, because again, Microsoft has been around for a long time when it came to the whole gaming side. And I don't think they expected PC gaming to really go out the way it did, but it certainly holds its title even to this day. And I am not surprised. So I can't wait for people to buy the PS6 and cry for the fact that it's just sitting there collecting dust. Hey, I'm guilty of having a PS5 and it just sits there and collects dust. The last game I honestly played on it was Final Fantasy 16, and that was like, I think that was almost, 2 years ago? It really just collects dust. It's a shame. I swear this time, I'm not going for any type of console. So, I am not surprised buying Activision and Bethesda with 20 other studios. The outcome, higher price on Game Pass, $1,000 Xbox Ally X next. The console costs over $1,000. And that's the problem there. Xbox controllers haven't ever been worth buying as far as I can remember. Always got third-party controllers. I plan to buy a PS6 just to play Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then immediately, hey, Satire, you can get Final Fantasy on your PC. You should get it. They do have the Final Fantasy VII Remake on Steam, so you can go ahead and get that title if you don't have it on your PC. It's a great game. Get it on the next Steam sale, in fact. I bet you could probably get it on Black Friday, but you have to buy the both sides of Final Fantasy VII. There's you can't just buy the one side. I think it's what is it? Final Fantasy VII. I think it's called Interlude, the first one. And Final Fantasy. There's two parts to it though. I I can't remember the names of it, but there's but I would highly recommend it. They even have the side quest one too now. I was enjoying it. You know, ironically, the main reason why I ended up getting the PS5 was for the exclusives. Again, I'm a true gamer, so even if at the time Sony did not have all their titles on PC at the time, so I got it specifically for games like Ghost of Tsushima, and games as Ghost of Tsushima. Again, Final Fantasy 16 was exclusive to PS5 for a little while. Spider-Man, like all those type of titles. But now that they're coming out for PC, but I have to just wait a little longer, I can certainly wait a little bit longer. And plus, I wanted to make content on it, but again, I felt kind of limited on the content on it. I can't just continue making content on PS5 as well. But definitely going to be a lot more PC centric at this current moment when it comes to it. Yeah, so might just do it on PC when it's done. Wait for the third part of it to release. And I don't want to buy it in pieces and wait. Yeah, and that's the thing. Feel free, Tony Cyber. Go ahead. Feel free to ask your question about AM4. Would love to hear the questions. I'm surprised there's not more PC builders in here. Or if you're probably just one of those guys that does have an Xbox or has a PS5, and you're sitting in the background just to see how PC gamers interact, and you're just wanting to join the circle. Just do it. Just go ahead. Go full PC. I know you guys are lurking out there, just thinking of the options of purchasing a PC. So, all right, Wasabi. I do appreciate you coming into the chat. To all the exclusives that Sony got on PS4 came out slowly on PC, so I waited and didn't get smart, man. I actually have a funny story, but this story is gonna have to stay at the members roundtable. See you next time. I might join Saturday, but not sure. Okay, I know you gotta move. I know it's vital and important. Get luck on your move. Feel free to contact me if you need any help on anything. And that's for anybody that's in the chat. Just to let you know, we do have a Discord channel. Feel free to join it. It's in the description box down below. If you're on Twitch, just open up another tab next to you. I know it's right there. Just click that other tab. Go to chrismizo.com, just like how it sounds. And then click the Discord link on there, and that will take you to our Discord server where you can feel free to ask questions. You can also feel free to post pictures, and you can talk if you need any help with any technical issues, or if you need help with a PC build, feel free to enter in, and it's completely free. And also, we do have a membership side. You can feel free to join. It's not a requirement, obviously, and it doesn't cost anywhere near like Game Pass. So, put it back to full screen. So, yes, do you recommend the Ryzen 9 5900 XT? It's the newer version of the 5900X. Let me see. The XT. I haven't really looked too much into the XT. Because since I pulled away from the whole AM4 for a little while. So let's take a look. We'll take a look at between the two processors and we'll compare them. 5900X and the 5900 XT. All right, so let's take a look here. The XT and the so from what I see, it says that the difference is that it's 16 versus 12 cores. So you have a bit more cores, and that means more threads. Higher base clock, 3.7. Okay, so now I'll tell you this. Are you going to be using this PC for more than just the gaming? Are you planning to stream as well? Are you planning to do any type of heavy productivity such as Adobe Photoshop? Are you planning to use any type of Adobe software like Adobe Premiere? Any type, or even animations, or any type of interest when it comes to productivity, or are you using it strictly for gaming purposes? Now, this does matter because then this can certainly determine whether if it's worth getting the XT over the X depending on the pricing point. Now, if you can find the X for like a much cheaper price point, then it might be worth getting if you're only planning to game on your PC. But if you're not just planning to only game on your PC, the 5900X is still very formidable. And it's still great to do productivity contents. But it just won't be as strong as the XT if that's the case, because it does have the extra cores in there to help you when it comes to multitasking ability. Workstation I streamer ready. All right, Takuma, have a great night. I know it's late out there. I do appreciate the members for coming in. As always, I will see you on Saturday. And again, we do have a member side. Feel free to hit the join button and check out, join the roundtable. Would love to have you guys there. So you're planning to use it as a workstation. 5900 XT would be the way to go. Reason being because again, it has up to 16 cores, and it would be up to 16 cores and 32 threads, I believe it has. So because it has that gives you more multitasking ability. Now, if you have the regular 5900X, it's just going to be a slight less, where it's at 12 cores and 24 threads, and that will give you less multitask ability. So if you could get the 5900 XT for like a little bit more extra, and you can take advantage of the whole productivity side since you stream. Did you hear any? I have not. No, I haven't really heard any serious issues. There's been most issues that I've been hearing are not related CPU wise. A lot of the issues are going to be more focused on the GPU side. To the 12 volt high power port, people are still running into that type of issue. But nothing concrete when it comes to the whole AM4 side. AM4 has been holding up well, and again, I haven't really heard anything serious from that side. So I still have my 5900X. The 9900X destroys the 50. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's a whole different story. That's a different story there. If you're comparing those two, those are definitely two different beasts. You have one that's AM5 versus an AM4 type of processor. So you're almost like 2 generations up from Zen 3 to Zen 5. So you're definitely going to see quite the difference when it comes to processing power. Now, for anybody that's sticking on AM4, the most you can go to Zen 3. Zen 3 is still great. They still obviously produce for AM4. It's quite the beast. But just to let you guys know, if you're planning a brand new build, I don't highly suggest anyone to go AM4. And the reason being is because if you're planning to do a brand new build, then it's not going to be sustainable to the point where it's just going to be a bit more costly to build AM4 compared to AM5. In fact, it may be cheaper to build AM5 than having AM4, because when it comes to older parts, they are going to be more expensive. Even when it comes to RAM, like I just took a look at my my Threadripper is more of an aging processor itself, and it requires at least 3600 megahertz of CL16. And for that specific RAM set for 32 gigabytes will cost $171 for just that set. And already for DDR5, you can get a better set for not even much more, which is insane. It's only like a little bit of a price difference. So if anyone still has AM4, that you're certainly going to be paying the price for still sticking on a older system, unfortunately. So, yeah, no problem. AM5 is better, absolutely. I just bought it. Thanks for the input. No problem. Hopefully you enjoy it. It's going to be quite the upgrade, especially if you're if you're upgrading, say, from like the 5600X. You're going to notice the difference when it comes to multitasking ability for sure. You'll love it for that sense. It's going to be a lot quicker when it comes to encoding, and you'll love it for that. If you can afford it, yes, but it's always the better buy. Yes, because again, when it comes to the price comparison, you would be surprised like how close that AM5 is with AM4. Like when it comes to pricing wise, again, you could really build a cheap AM5 build. We did one earlier this year with the 9070 XT. And again, it was still under $2,000. It was around $1,800 or $1,900 for the full build. So it certainly can be done if anyone is looking to spend a little bit of, if you're looking for a good, decent, high quality build, again, for like $1,800 to $1,900 compared to, again, to bring back the next generation Xbox, it's going to cost you $1,200. And then it's, again, you're going to be limited to what that that console is going to give you. Now, I am curious to see how open source it is, which is almost it's almost a laugh at that point, because as you know, Windows doesn't like to be very open source when it comes to products. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see limitations when it comes to the Xbox branding, at least. But I'm curious to see what they do, what kind of idea that they come out with. And if Steam is willing to still come back, wanting to come back, because I don't know if you guys remember this, but before, Steam wanted to release a console practically to PC. I'm not PC, to like to your home, similar to a PS5, to an Xbox, but it just didn't do well at first. I don't think the world was quite ready for it, but I think the world is starting to change quite a bit now, and I could see it changing up, especially because of such a great reputation that the Steam Deck has built. So, yes, AM5 is good, but I want to future-proof of my PC for 3 more years. Then I will upgrade to AM5, DDR5, etc. I get it. That's certainly a good way to future-proof it. Now, I do highly recommend you to do what to do is when it comes to your AM4 build. Also, you want to get more RAM while you can before it gets more expensive or it becomes unavailable. I think the best RAM that we currently found, I think we found some Kingston RAM, great RAM, that's still very decently priced. Every other manufacturer, Corsair, Patriot, Teams Group, what else? A G-Skill. All those brands, when it comes to RAM, they all have quite the uptick when it comes to pricing. But I would highly recommend to check out Kingston, because their pricing is actually still not too bad, and they have great RAM. So you got 64. Okay, so you're pretty much maxed out at that point. So Viali has you have a 4X Crosshair X570 Hero. Okay, so you have one Crosshair X570 Extreme, the D900X, 32 gigabytes, 3600 RAM, and my parts. Oh wow, really? That's insane. You got quite the collection there. But that's definitely wall worthy. I'm sure you probably thought of ways of just like, but since it is in your like cupboard, I'm assuming you probably have it nice and decorated, right? It probably looks pretty dope, I have to say, for the most part. But I'm glad you got it up to 64. You're probably maxed out for the most part. So it's going to perform decently well then, since you got 64 gigabytes of RAM. And what type of GPU do you have, by the way? Just out of curiosity. I'm assuming maybe, do you have a 9000, or do you have like a 70? Let me guess, like maybe like a 7800. Do you have? I'm guessing. I'm guessing you have a full AMD build here. Now, I bet you have something like that. I know there's like a little bit of the delay in chat, so I apologize for that. 3080. Okay. 3080, 10 gigabytes. Okay. Not too bad. It's almost similar to what I have in my Threadripper. The Threadripper that I currently have, I have the 3080 Ti. So I have a little bit more VRAM in it, just another 2 gigabytes. It's only up 12 gigabytes. But I definitely feel you. Because originally I was thinking of upgrading. If I do, I will certainly do a video on it, which is going to be Micro Center visits thinking about doing it. It will end up being like this weekend if that's the case, and we could definitely do a live stream about it. And but I was thinking of doing that for the Threadripper build. There's some things that I do want to change out to definitely make it a bit more up to date at least. Because even with the 3080 Ti, it's feeling it a bit, I can tell. But other than that, it's again, it's a great generation. Zen 3 was quite amazing. The processor I actually have is technically Zen 2, so it's like way back because it's the 3970X when it comes to the streaming build. But on the gaming rig's quite different, and I can't wait to experiment with Battlefield 6 to see if those adjustments will certainly change it. I will definitely record it and definitely post it up on YouTube once that's the case. Again, the next video that I will be doing when it comes to the Xbox Ally X, which I will mention, is I want Kingston Fury RAM for AM5, as I had a lot of G-Skill DDR. I can get it. G-Skill can be hit or miss at times. So what I'm going to be doing very soon is I'll be coming out with a video based on this, and which is going to be the Xbox Ally X. And we're going to attempt to change out the SSD in it and see how well it takes it. Now there's going to be a couple methods for it, which I do highly recommend if you do have an Ally X Xbox edition. And that's to either back it up with Macrium if you already downloaded like everything in there, or if you don't really care for what you have on your SSD currently, and you just want to be able to just automatically swap it out, you can do it that way. But just make sure to clean out your NVMe. I usually recommend to do that before swapping it out. And usually you can do that like with a 2.5 inch, not 2.5 inch, but a USB to M.2 drive, to where you can actually either extract everything, or you can either clone the drive, which is even better, which will make it pretty much like plug and play at that point. I gotcha, my Ellie. I appreciate you for coming in. So EF5 guy, good to see you. Glad to see you here. Is a 3080 and a Ryzen 7 3700X, 16 gigabytes RAM, 1 terabyte SSD, good for $850. Now for that's a bit questionable. That's kind of expensive in my personal opinion. $850. I would say it's probably worth about more like in the, I would say bargain with this guy. And I would say it's probably more around like the 500s, to be honest. If I were to bargain with this guy, it's more like 500 range, because again, you're going for a Ryzen 7 3700X with 16 gigabytes of RAM. It's probably, again, NVMe 3 maybe, PCI Express 3 when it comes to the NVMe. Yeah, $500. Oh man. I apologize for your purchase. You spent a little too much, but if I were to guess, it was $500 worth. I hope that I'm wrong about the NVMe. Hopefully it's still PCI Express 4 at least. But I can certainly help you with the upgrades. I would say at least upgrade it to 32 gigabytes if anything. You could always upgrade the processor if you want to, and then from there you'll be pretty good for the most part. Do you game on 1080 or do you game on 1440? I have to say EF, because that also matters too. Especially if you want to, and let me know your refresh rates too, because if you're looking for a better refresh rate, or if you're planning to do any type of, say, streaming, or if you're planning to do any type of productivity, let me know as well. It would be great to know. Let me move this. I think I got it a little bit off here. There we go. That's probably better. 1080. Okay, so if you game at 1080 and what's at 100 hertz? Okay, so that's doable. More than likely, the 3080 is going to be respectable enough to be able to pull something like that. Now, if you ever to choose to upgrade this GPU, if you wanted to, I would say a true upgrade is going 4080 if you wanted to. Or anything like 4070 Ti or 4080 would be a decent upgrade for you, for this PC, graphics wise. But other than that, I would say the 3080 is certainly doable for now at 1080p at 100 hertz. Also, the processor is more than likely going to be good enough. If you're just focused on the gaming side, I'm assuming, if you're just focused on the gaming side, I wouldn't really worry too much about the processor. Well, maybe. I would just upgrade two things. I would upgrade the processor at least to a 5600. Go to 5600X. And if you can get the 5600 XTD, that's even better because that'll be better for the gaming aspect. And at least you're going to want at least 32 gigabytes of RAM. That's like the minimum requirement nowadays. Should I keep the 3080 for future builds? I mean, you could. No, I'm actually on Twitch as well. Yeah, I'm on Twitch and I'm also on X. So I'm streaming on multiple platforms. So you could, hopefully you can see the response. It's it should be all in the stream on the bottom, pop it up, just in case. But I'm also on Twitch. You can feel free to check out my Twitch channel. Also, again, I'm also on X. You can feel free to check that out as well. Also known as Twitter. And again, you can feel free to join the Discord. If you have any more questions, you could definitely ask on there, and we're definitely there to help you. So it's, besides me, there's also a large community, so we can all help each other, especially when it comes to PC builds or even upgrades to your PC. So should I try to find an AM5 combo in the future? If you do want a AM5 combo, I can certainly say this. Do you have a Micro Center near you by chance? If you do, that's certainly like one of the best places I can certainly recommend. If you don't, I would highly recommend checking out, I would definitely recommend you some. And I can share with you on Discord too, because obviously I can't send links on the chat, but I can send it through Discord. And Newegg also has some great deals when it comes to AM5 bundles when it comes time. If you don't want to spend money on a processor and on RAM on this current PC. So, CS count. Yes. So, I live in the UK. Oh, okay. So if you live in the UK, then we can take advantage of Amazon if that's the case. Usually Amazon can have some decent builds. Usually they'll have some... Usually if you buy, like, say, AM5 processor, which is currently, like, say, you want to get the Zen 5. They usually, right now, that they currently have is, like, a 9600X, 9700X, and it'll be bundled with some RAM that you can get for a pretty decent deal when it comes for, like, a 9700X, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and, say, a B850 motherboard, you might be able to get a decent deal on it. But if it's if you're in the UK, that's definitely the best option. I know that there's another store in the UK you guys certainly do have. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I think it's, but you can always check out that store. What is it? I think it's Tech Basket, right? There's Tech Basket and there's another one. But I would say if you are looking for AM5, that would be the way to go if you're looking to like do some sort of future proof. But I mean, for 850, you did already purchase the PC, unless again you're planning to sell it sometime soon. You prefer to just do a build. We're certainly able to help you out with it, and it's definitely a fun process. It's much better experience than most people believe it to be when it comes to building PCs. Curry's, that's what it is. Curry's. I do.
William Santos subscribed to the channel.
Thanks for subscribing, Will. I gotta say, Curry's is definitely a place to check out. More than likely, they probably have a bundle like that. When it comes, again, to your PC, what you can currently do, if you want to do this, I'm just saying if you're into, like, doing more of, like, say, into, like, streaming, you can always use that other PC if you wanted to, as specifically just for streaming services. But again, you would have to still do some upgrades in order for it to work properly. Or if you're planning just to use that money, if you were planning to sell the PC, you're planning to use that money towards the build. But again, feel free to ask questions if you need help with that side, or if you just want to make your current PC better. We can certainly help you do that as well. What type of games are you currently playing on this PC now? Are you playing anything that's pretty demanding, or not? Not really. Are you playing Battlefield 6 currently? The prices are from the ones near me are hard. Okay, I apologize to hear that. I'll do what I can to find you the best deals. I'll certainly look it up, and I can reach contacts to see what kind of deals that they currently do have in Amazon. I'm sure that there's going to be some coming up real soon, and when there is, I can certainly let you know. Again, feel free to join in on Discord, and I can certainly just let me know that you're the EF5 guy. Beaming would used be good? Now, that's also a great question. When it comes to used products, especially when it comes to PC gaming, that can also be a bit questionable, because you don't know what type of usage has been they put it through. Now, you don't know if they overclock or they've done anything. Now, specifically, that's when it comes to GPUs. That would be the most sketchy. Second most questionable would obviously be CPUs. Everything else other than that, like when it comes to RAM, I wouldn't be too worried about. SSDs, obviously not really worried about. And motherboard, that's could be sketchy. I'd be more worried about the pins on the motherboard if you do buy it used. But I would highly suggest certain parts you can get used. Certain other parts, specifically like GPU, is the number one thing I would be a bit sketched out about, unless it's like recertified, like you know for certain that has some sort of guarantee. Same thing when it comes to the CPU and the motherboard. Those three components I would be more sketched out about. But other than that, like those three components, anything other than the three components that I've listed, you could certainly go for used. Because if you get a used power supply, just say, it'll be pretty obvious, because when you get a used power supply and it's bad, you could really smell it. You'll be able to smell like burnt electric if it's a bad power supply. There'll be indications of it. Now, unless you really start to really educate yourself when it comes to motherboards, you would have to really examine all the capacitors, all the MOSFETs. You have to also examine the pins in the CPU. You have to really examine the board before you take it. You could do the same with the GPUs and everything, but again, you're not going to be pulling it apart to find out. Again, that's why I recommend, if you do get used, at least make sure that it is like certified, or that you know that you have some sort of guarantee on it. But that's when it comes to the used market. So again, if you guys are just coming in, I'm Chris Mizo. I talk about PC and tech. You can feel free to ask any questions when it comes to PC builds, or if you're looking to upgrade your build. Maybe you got questions about the Xbox Ally X, which is what I have currently over here. There is going to be a video that is going to be made soon about this, which is going to be taking this apart, and we're going to figure out how to put a NVMe practically in it. M.2 drive that can go up to, we'll probably put 4 terabytes in there to see how it would respond. Also, if you do plan to, if you say you already installed everything into your Xbox Ally X, you also want to confirm that you want to make sure that you back up everything. And in order to back up everything, there's a couple methods, which I will certainly show you. Now, the slower method is using the ASUS Cloud. You could certainly use it, but it just takes a lot of time. And there's faster ways to go about it, which I will certainly show you guys. But that's going to be coming up. And also, if anybody, to answer your question, EF5 guy, when I turn my PC on, there is a weird noise from the fans or the cooler. I'm not sure. Okay, so what kind of noise are you exactly hearing? Is it kind of like a ticking sound? Is it more of a ticking sound, or is it more of like a whining sound? And is it when you do any specific task, or is it when your PC is just on period? because then that could really be anything there. Because sometimes it could be something small. It could be like the fan bearing really going bad. You would see it like seize up maybe. That could be the case. But again, it depends on the tasks that you're doing. And again, is it when it turns on or is it just when it's idling? Just like when you're on the desktop. Okay. Again, join in Discord and I can take a look at it. I'll show it up live and then we can kind of determine what the cause could be. Let me see. I'm going to check right now. Check the, let's see, member side. Okay, so I got the Discord open now, guys. So you can feel free to send. It's like a, okay. It sounds, okay. And that's during idle, is it? Is that during idle? Or is it during like when you're gaming? Or is it just like overall, like when you first turn on your PC? No, I don't think so. When booting and sometimes gaming. Yeah, feel free to send it and then I'll take a look at it. I'll open it up and then I can see what it is. We'll actually have the sound open and everything to determine if we'll be sharing across so we can get a good determination of what it could be. So when booting and sometimes gaming, I'll join. Okay, yeah, take your time. I'll just talk about what upcoming videos are coming up for anybody on Twitch or anybody on X. I do have some YouTube videos that will certainly be coming up, and it's going to be based on a couple things. At first, I'm going to be doing the whole Xbox Ally X for anybody who's looking to upgrade over 1 terabyte. We're going to attempt to put 4 terabytes in there to see how it reacts. And we're also going to do a video on Battlefield 6, especially for those who are having trouble with AMD's X3D. Especially when it comes to, regardless if you have the 5000 series, 7000 series, 9000 series, there a lot of the AMD processors are having trouble, especially because of this whole anti-cheat, because it just doesn't know what to do with the parked cores, and because of that, it's just taking over everything. It's using up so much more process than it needs to. So we're going to attempt to unpark the cores, meaning we'll end up using one of the CCDs, specifically just manually assign it to Battlefield 6. And then we're going to assign CCD 1 to every other task that your PC is doing, including your background services, whatever. And then we're going to see how well it responds to that. Okay, so do I, when booting and sometimes gaming, do I send it? Just feel free to send it to the questions. You're going to see questions and answer. Just join in and click that, and you can feel free to ask it there. Also, if you're looking to join, just make sure you click the rules side and make sure you hit the green check mark. If you hit the green check mark, that will. I'll just show you guys real quick. Anybody that's joining in on Discord here, it's going to look like this. So you just have to go here onto Discord and just go to the rules side up here. And then when you hit the rules side on Discord, just hit that green check mark right there. And then after you hit the green check mark, you just want to go down to the questions and answer, and then you can feel free to ask your questions on there. And you can send a video. So feel free to ask your questions there, and I will certainly respond to it. And again, it could be showed live. So if you have, you can't. Okay. Oh, that sucks. Yeah. Otherwise, I would try to help you out. But all I can do is take a guess of what it is. And if you're hearing that do sound that you're describing, and from what it seems like is it could be. If it's that type of sound, I'm assuming that you probably got some sort of seized bearing when it comes to your fan. Look for, try to spin, first turn off your PC, obviously. You're going to have to turn off your PC, and wherever you hear the noise closest to from your PC, you want to manually try to spin it with your finger, and see if it spins. If it doesn't, if one of them feels like it's a little bit more stiffer than the other fan, then more than likely that fan is bad, and that you just have to replace that case fan. That's from what I'm guessing, because you're not experiencing any other problems, right? I don't see it hitting any wires or anything. Yeah, so that's what I would suggest to do. Just turn off your PC, manually spin your fan, and see if any of them, one of them is a little bit harder to spin than the other, because usually that's what the case could be. Now, if it's another issue, feel free to let me know. But you know what you can do? Temporarily, what you can do is unplug that fan that is giving you the issue. And again, it has to be completely off when you do this. Unplug that fan and then turn on your PC to see if that noise goes away. And that way you can verify if that is the sound that you was hearing. So that's what I would highly suggest to do if you're running into that type of issue. So again, this could happen to anyone. Usually if you hear any weird noises when it comes to your PC, you can usually check it that way. So just feel, most of the time when you hear like a sound like kind of like that do sound, it sounds like that a bearing again freezes up, and which is more common than you think. And or maybe one day you heard your PC start to do that and you're not sure exactly why, and it could just be that reason. Maybe it's the case that you purchased your PC with, and the fans that it came with aren't the best, so then one of them just ended up seizing up. I mean, it happens all the time, and that's certainly something to replace if you can. And you would appreciate it a lot more because you're going to get a much better experience also when you are doing whatever task that you're doing with your PC. So, can I guess, yeah, feel free to send it. Let me see. I'll take a look right now and see if it is in there. But yeah, feel free to DM it to me and I will take a look here. And but again, that's like it's a common occurrence. Don't panic over something like frozen, like seized fans, because again, it's a very common issue when it comes to PCs. The best you can honestly do when it comes to seized fans is always make sure to end up just replacing the fan, because you're obviously not going to take the fan apart and replace the bearings. And most of them are like usually like hydraulic bearings that are in there, or okay, so I'm going to take a look. Let me take a look here. And I'm assuming you sent it on Twitch, right? Just to make sure. I'm going to go take a look here. Let's see. It says failed to send. Oh, really? Yeah, unfortunately, it's probably gonna be hard to send it to me. I would think. Do you have Twitter? You can send it to me on Twitter, and I can I can look at it that way. That would probably be the best option. I would assume. No. Yeah, unfortunately, that's what I would say. Just check that side. So I recommend so that's what I would recommend to do then. Just check the fan that way, and let me know your results. Hopefully you do. Make sure you just, I guess, follow me on Twitch and let me know your results, and hopefully it ends up well. If it doesn't, then let me know if it fixed your issue or not, because I would love to know if that did end up fixing your issue. I'm assuming that that's what the case is, and most of the time it's going to be that. But yeah, hopefully everybody's having a great experience with Battlefield 6. I've been hearing great things. I've been dying to play it, in fact, because of the whole new. I heard that they got a whole new map, Oil Rig. I've heard mixed things about it. I've heard from some people that it's great. Some people don't like it because they said the sun's in your face the whole time when it comes to that map. But I'm unsure until I actually start playing that map to see how well it is. Also, I hear some complaints about the whole camouflage, or when it comes to the uniforms, when it comes to the update. Like some of them are a bit too vibrant, which sticks out a bit. But I heard, and then I also hear it's not really that bad. Like there are some soldiers out there where they have like say like orange like pockets almost on their vest, and that's all it really is. But I'm curious to see exactly how it looks. I'm curious about this whole battle royale where it's up to 100 people, and I heard that they made it quite interesting, especially like when if someone's putting on Kevlar, that actually takes them a little bit time to put plates in, because it isn't like how it is in Call of Duty Warzone where it just slides in immediately. In fact, that there's like a whole like 2 or 3 second animation of you actually installing a plate inside of the vest. So I'm curious to see what it does feature in this whole new Battlefield 6 update. Also, hardware wise, the only things that I've been hearing so far, it's been a little bit quiet for most of this year, at least. Besides that, the price increase, again, when it comes to RAM, if you don't have RAM already, I highly suggest people to certainly purchase RAM, because believe it or not, if you take a look at it, it's actually going to be not very well in stock. In fact, we could go to Amazon and take a look, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. It's like ridiculously low stock when it comes to RAM. So we're gonna go here, and let's say we go and look up a say DDR5 CL30, right? Now this is how expensive it's getting. So if you don't have any RAM or you need more capacity, I highly suggest to get it while you can, because it's just going to get more expensive. And this is thanks to AI servers needing it, local LLMs. That type of deal seems like they're requiring a lot more RAM or even more VRAM. So even some GPUs are going a bit up in price because of it. So I'm going to share the screen here, guys. So just let's see right here. So take a look at this. Now here are some of the results for the RAM. So some of you are probably like probably shocked to see some of these prices. So is the Ryzen 5 7500F good? It's a decent processor. It's certainly a good processor to have, but I wouldn't say it's good to game on, especially on 1080p. And its value is also great. So it's definitely worth getting if you're thinking about something like that. It's a good way to start off, especially when it comes to gaming. But when it comes to the RAM, again, it's quite a bit expensive. Just for the G-Skill Flare X5 DDR5 at 6,000 megatransfers, CL30, decent, right? It's decent because currently when it comes to DDR5, you can get as low as CL26 currently. And this is $224. So it's really expensive when it comes to RAM. Is usually the price for something like this should be half of what it is. So technically this set should really be more closer to, I wouldn't say half, but a little bit more than half. Like it should be like $120 for something like this. Same thing even with Crucial. Crucial's actually not too, well, it's gone up a little bit too. Crucial's 32 gigabytes DDR5 RAM kit, CL36 at 6,000 megahertz is $144.99. So it just shows you how expensive that the RAM is currently getting. Here, like Patriot, this is insane. Like Patriot's Memory Viper Venom, CL30, 6,000 megahertz, also 160. Yeah, it's just expensive, right? It's just insanely expensive for what the RAM is. But like I said, there is one secret. So if you guys are searching for RAM, I would highly recommend to look at Kingston. Their RAM slightly went up a bit. I don't know if they started to catch on, but Kingston was actually more fairly priced compared to much more other RAM that is currently on sale. We're going to check out the Kingston store to check it out to see if it is. Let's check out their RAM, desktop memory, and here it is, 185.67 for, okay, so this is decent. It's not the best, but it's decent. It's much better than the one I showed you where it was G-Skill's Flare for $225, and you can get this for at least $185, and it comes with RGBs compared to something where it's non-RGB, and then you're also paying top premium dollar like for some RAM, which is again in the $225 it was. So this is definitely the better one. If you look at anything else, like any other brand, it's just going to be insanely expensive. So just you have to be really mindful when you are purchasing RAM. Like look at this. Like that's insane. That has to be from a third-party seller here. And it has to be. Racer Speed. Yeah, I knew it. I found the MSI B650 for 130 pounds. That's not too bad. I highly recommend if anybody does look towards like AM5, I would say just go a step above B650. Just go and see if it's a little bit cheap. You should still find it relatively cheap. And that's going to be the X670E boards or the X670 boards. Reason why I mentioned that is because if you guys don't know, if you currently have an AM5, this is something that you have to really think about. And this is currently just rumor based. It's not 100% factual or 100% true just quite yet, but there is indications that when AM5, for the new AM5 processors, not the 9000Gs as I spoke about earlier, but the processors when it comes to the 10,000s, when it comes to Ryzen 10,000. And the Ryzen 10,000 is rumored to require at least 32 to 64 megabytes of a BIOS chip. So if you don't have that, some B650s don't. So it may not be compatible with the newest generation of processors if that's the case. Now, more than likely, and a lot of them will, the X670Es will more than likely be okay to upgrade to. But again, rumor based until it's factual, until AMD does make a presentation on it, which we'll find out due time once we go to CES 2026 and see what is going on with the, if there is going to be the whole BIOS requirement for BIOS of up to 32 megabytes or 64 megabytes. So yes, the Ryzen 10,000 is rumored to be coming out in 2020, 2026, by the end of 2026, around the same time next year. And that's going to be, it's still going to be technically AM5. So it's not going to be a new AM6 motherboard. We certainly don't expect AM6 to be released until like maybe 2028. So again, there's still plenty of time to be on AM5 before 2028. So that's the next time you would see like a big leap when it comes to PC tech. And it might not even be that large of a leap because it's also rumored that PCI Express 6, or it's already stated for the fact that PCI Express 6 won't be released until like about 2030. And with DDR6, it's hard to say. DDR6 will eventually come out, which is, it's debatable whether if Intel's going to decide to come out with DDR6 when it comes to their newer motherboards, when it comes to 18A. Not the Z890s. Maybe it's going to be this. I don't know if they're going to change the naming scheme when it comes to their motherboards. It's a possibility. But if they do, then more than likely it's a possibility that they can hop on DDR6 first, but not really have PCI Express 6 quite yet. I get it. Yeah. But the 10,000 series, it's going to have its value, and they're also going to have the price to performance ones, and then they're also going to have the performance ones, which are going to be the high-end dollars. Now, if you guys don't know, a lot of the high-end processors, or a lot of, not the processors, but the high-end silicon that AMD has been using is towards the higher end side, which is like the 9950 XUDs. You're practically guaranteed to get a decent silicon inside of those processors. So if you are looking to make sure to get the best, you certainly will, but of course you have to pay the money in order to get it. Not to say that their other processors are as good. They're going to be great, but there is different grades when it comes to their silicon, and you can even actually go to your BIOS and it will actually tell you the grade of the silicon in that CPU. So a B850 would be good. Yes, a B850 would certainly be good to go ahead with. More than likely, you'll be in the clear, and it'll be practically more future-proof that way. If you get the B650, it won't be as future-proof because there's limitations. That's also something I get at 130 for 130 pounds. That's not bad. That's honestly not that bad. For a B850, that's pretty decent, I have to say. For which motherboard is it that you're looking at? Is it EF guy, 5 guy? Which motherboard are you looking at? That's something I wanted to let you guys know about too, is if anybody is on AM5, if you have a B650 or a B850, if you're wondering what the difference is, if you're looking to build a PC, you want to make sure to know the difference between the two. Like, is it that much of an advantage if you go B850 over a B650, for example? And that there is an advantage. In fact, that the PCI Express lane will certainly be, you'll have X16 speeds at PCI Express 5 for sure when it comes to B850. Some B650s does not have that feature. Some B650s still have PCI Express 4 at X16. So even though you're thinking you're buying an AM5 and you'll have PCI Express 5 everything, it's not always the case. For Asus Prime, that's not bad. That's yeah, so for that board, that's honestly not that bad. B850, so you'll probably, so more than likely on that motherboard, you'll have PCI Express 5 X16 you'll have PCI Express 5 X16, and you should have PCI Express 5 on X4 for the NVMe for the M.2. The rest should be pretty much like PCI Express 4, but overall, that's the most important aspect that you want to look at. So let's, for example, we'll take a look at EF5's board real quick, and I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. B850. If you take a look at this motherboard here, it's always good to look at the tech specs. So when you take a look at the tech specs here, let's see. Right here, when you look at the tech specs here, you could go down to the memory side. It's going to be 256. It can support up to. It has DisplayPort. That doesn't really matter because you're going to more than likely have a GPU for that. Expansion slots, you're going to have one PCI Express 5 X16. And it will also allow AMD Ryzen 8000 series, obviously, because it's going to be AM5. This does have another PCI Express X16 slot where it's rated at PCI Express 4. So usually the top one, it's always labeled how the schematic would be. So the top one's going to be the top of the board. This would be the second section of the PCI Express. And then when it comes to the B850 chipset, okay, so for this one, it looks like it doesn't have NVMe PCI Express 5 as I thought. It would have PCI Express 4. Let me see, PCI Express 4. Let's go down to storage here. 2280. Yeah, it supports 3x M.2 slots and 4x SATA 6 gigabit connections. So M.2, yeah, so it supports 1. So it is that. So if you use the first M.2 side of that's under the PCI Express 16, the second one, that should be able to support up to PCI Express 5. The rest will support PCI Express 4. And then everything else will be pretty much extra. Hopefully 2.5 gigabit Ethernet connection is good enough for you. For most people, that will satisfy the needs. Wi-Fi 6E it does come with, and it does have Bluetooth version 5.3, and the port should definitely satisfy, as it has up to 4 USB 10 gigabit ports, has 1 USB-C port. Yeah, so this is a solid board, especially for that price. That's not too bad at all. That's something to definitely think about. Definitely think about something like that, because again, that's what you would want to look for. Now, you could take a look further down here, and it'll actually tell you what the BIOS has. And this is what you want to look for too now. Like if you are looking for a new motherboard, this is also good to take a look at. And it's something like this, which is going to be the BIOS side right here. You see right there where it says BIOS 256 megabyte. I know they don't mean megabit. It has to be megabyte. 256 megabyte flash ROM UEFI AMI BIOS. So that should definitely satisfy if you do end up choosing to upgrade. So that's something to always look at now, just in case, because of the latest rumor. So this definitely has more than enough to be compatible with the upcoming 10,000 series when AMD does eventually want to release it. But of course, if you look like at these higher end boards here, like for example, if you take a look at let's take a look at Enthusiast and Pro. Say we take a look at, we'll take a look here and say we choose, we'll just pick a random board here, the Crosshair X870E Hero, which is a beautiful board, I gotta say. Isn't that a nice board? Because I really like the fact that it has the back connections here, and that's certainly something to take advantage of. That's something to do on an upcoming build for sure. But let's just take a look at the tech specs, because this is what's most important. And again, you want to look at the graphics side. You want to see that as 1X PCI Express 5 X16 with Q release, so it has the new Q release in there. It does have the PCI Express X16 as 2 of them, PCI Express 4 slots, and it supports up to 5 M.2 slots, and they all have PCI Express 5. Now, let's see. Now, this is something that most people don't pay attention to. So when you go here, when you go to the M.2 underscore 2 is enabled. When you have NVMe on this, oh really? That's not bad. For only 30 pounds? That's actually a pretty decent deal. That's like actually finding gold now. Because this PCI Express 16 underscore 1 will run at X8. So you have to make sure that if you have anything used in M.2 underscore 2, meaning the second slot of this motherboard, that it will split the power of your GPU. So it's very important to not use this slot. Now, it's not only going to be ASUS that does this. A Gigabyte does this. MSI does it. And they will also tell you that it will also, M.2 underscore 3 will run at X4. So just to let you know, if you do use this board, do not use M.2 underscore 2 if you do not want to end up crippling your speeds when it comes to your GPU. So if you wonder why why did this new PCI Express 5 NVMe start to affect my performance when it comes to gaming, that's the real reason why. It's not throttling, it's just a limit when it comes to using the speeds. And when it comes to the Ethernet side, again, you have dual Ethernet ports you can take advantage of. That's great for networking, Wi-Fi 7. So you found a B650 for 95 pounds, but I can negotiate the price down. That's not, okay, which B650 did you find? So you have rear USBs up to 10 total ports, audio features, and of course your back panel I/O ports. So this is everything that the motherboard does come with. And again, this is great for enthusiasts. If you're more of an enthusiast, you really want to max out your specifications, definitely a great motherboard to take a look at. I have the original one, but the one that is non-BTF, but still a great board, and nevertheless. So, but yeah, hopefully you guys have all the upgrades needed for your PCs, especially when it comes to the RAM side. It's kind of sad, I gotta say. I hope we do certainly get into a better situation when it comes to PC parts, because this is just terrible when it comes to the gaming aspect. Not only is the gaming side going to get more expensive, but also you can certainly expect it, because remember what Microsoft said. They said that all the prices will go up in gaming after around where the holidays will start. So technically after Black Friday, more than likely, which is going to be, let me see the exact date. I think it is for, clear all this out. I think it's going to be the day after Thanksgiving practically here. So it's going to be, I think it's the 28th this year. So for the 28th, after the 28th, after that weekend, I would think, you can see all the games for the Microsoft games going to push up in price to about $80. And a lot of developers feel that this is fair, but where it's a bit unfair is that why are we getting games where they're unfinished? Why are we paying $80 for a game where they didn't even finish really developing the game? And why are we dealing with a day one patch if this game is so great for $80? Now, some people argue, like, well, when you really think about it, pricing when it comes to gaming hasn't really gone up that much, and that this is justified for that. But to me, and I'm sure to some other people, feel the same way, where it's just complete BS. So I found, but I do have to say that side of it, I think it's going to be quite sketchy on how it turns out. I certainly expect a lot of people get more into PC gaming, especially about the news of Xbox costing so much. It's going to be about $1,200 to be able to really game on a console if you want to stick with Xbox. But it's going to be more of a hybrid console, because it's going to be pretty much like a PC. It'll be practically like how you're, if you have the Xbox Ally, it's probably going to be a lot like this. Now, there's also rumors for the Xbox Ally X that it's going to be a bit more like I would say, they would have features such as Xbox emulation. But that's something to be seen. I'm curious to see how that's going to work out, if that's the case, if there's Xbox emulation. More than likely, they were betting that more people would use something like Game Pass in order to play their games, and that unfortunately, a lot of people who want to use their physical media titles for their Xbox are kind of SOL unless you're gaming on the cloud, and that would be the only way you're able to do that. All right, I'll talk to you, F5 guy. But yeah, if that's the case, so I do have to say, if that is true, that will certainly, I think, help the Xbox's case, where the ASUS ROG Xbox Ally X, if that's the case, if they certainly go that route for Xbox emulation. I wonder how you guys feel about it. Some of you guys might feel a bit mixed. Some of you guys might feel it is good for it, or some of you guys might be adapting. You guys might be trying to explore what Steam's about. How is Steam like? And I have a feeling most people who will end up trying out Steam will end up going to Steam for good. It's just a benefit. It's been around for such a long time. I mean, you're talking about like the early 2000s. You're still able to play games from games you purchased even then. So again, it's a big monstrosity that Microsoft would really have to fight, and it would be hard for even Microsoft to be able to try to purchase something like Steam, which isn't going to happen. So I gotta say, it's definitely quite the experience. I think it's a great system. It's quite the upgrade. The Z2 Extreme has definitely proved that it's quite the upgrade over the Z1 Extreme. But many of you, if you do have a Xbox, the original ASUS ROG Ally, you might question if it's really worth upgrading. Is it really worth upgrading to something like the Xbox Ally X? And I would have to say, in my personal opinion, unless you honestly game on the go very often, then I wouldn't say it's really worth upgrading to. But if you don't game on the go too often, and that you do like to, and if you do, it's only worth it for those who travel a bit more when it comes to gaming and doesn't really have the time to sit on a PC to play their game or sit on a console, then it would be worth getting an Xbox Ally X. So I do feel that about this console. It's a decent one, but again, you guys can feel free to ask questions about it if you're curious about purchasing one. The crazy part is it's currently still very highly a marketed product, to the point where it's actually really hard to get your hands on an Xbox Ally X currently, and that if you do end up ordering one, it seems that the orders are pushing out as far as December 16th, which is pretty insane. So if anybody has kids out there and was thinking of, like, say, getting this Xbox Ally X for their kids, definitely take a look at it before then, because more than likely it's going to be like selling out at that point. Also, again, if you have questions about how it's like to upgrade to the Xbox Ally X over the original Ally, I could certainly answer that as well. So, FanBam guys, hopefully you enjoyed today's stream. If you did, feel free to subscribe and make sure to like the video. Really, certainly do appreciate that. And also make sure to join the free Discord down in the description box down below. And again, it's free. Make sure you think about joining our membership. We don't charge anywhere near Xbox Game Pass, so definitely check it out. I do appreciate everyone for stopping in, and hopefully I see you guys soon. And I do stream again on Saturdays. Thanks again so much for watching, and have a great night, and hope the rest of the week goes well for you.